this video we're going to look at how to find the hypotenuse in a right angle triangle using our trigonometry. Now it's not always going to be the hypotenuse we're going to be finding, but generally the hypotenuse is going to be a slightly more awkward side to find, as we will see. So it says here, first of all, use the same steps as before for finding the length. This time, however, you'll need to multiply up by the denominator and then divide by the value of the trig term. Okay, that probably won't make an awful lot of sense to you at the moment, so we're going to look at it in practice in these examples. Okay, our first step to finding the missing side on a right angle triangle was just to label your side correctly. So relative to the 29, this 5 is the opposite side, and this x is opposite the right angle, so this is our hypotenuse. So our next step, I always said, was to write down SOHCAHTOA, and then we identify which of the three trig ratios we should use. So we have got our opposite side and we've got our hypotenuse. So SOH involves our opposite and hypotenuse, so our sine is the one that we are going to be using. So we're going to be using our sine today. So we're going to say sine of the angle theta is equal to opposite over hypotenuse, and then all we do is we fill in. So we look back at our triangle, and in our triangle theta was 29 degrees. The opposite side was 5, and then we have our x for our hypotenuse. Now in mathematics, in general, if you have the thing that you're trying to find is on the bottom line, that's going to cause a problem to you. So what is happening here on this right hand side? Our 5 is being divided this time by x. So instead of the last example, it would have been x divided by 5, which is much easier, but 5 is being divided by x. So we want to move that x across to the other side. So if it's dividing at the moment, when it moves across the other side, what it's going to do is multiply. So you could have x times sine of 29 is equal to 5. And then what's happening here is you've got your x is being multiplied by sine of 29. So if that, if that sine of 29 moves across, it will become 5 divided by sine of 29. And if you do that on your calculator and press equals, again making sure your calculator's in degrees mode, so there should be a wee d, 5 divided by sine of 29. I'm going to give my answer to 2 decimal places. What I have got is 10.31, and the units are going to be centimeters, and that is the 2 decimal places. Our second example, same idea. What we want to do is label our triangle. So relative to the 33, the y is the a side because it's adjacent, and our 3.6 is opposite because it is opposite the angle. Write down your SOHCAHTOA again. And then decide which of our three trig ratios we should use. So we have got our adjacent and we've got our opposite. So that means we're going to use tan because it involves the opposite and our adjacent. So write down your trig ratio. Tan theta is equal to O over A, and then we just fill in what we know. Sorry, I'll separate these two examples. So we've got tan of 33 degrees is equal to my O, which in this case is 3.6, divided by my A, which in this case is Y. So again, we've got a problem because the thing that we want to find, Y in this case, is on the bottom line. So let's look at this right hand side and think what's happening. 3.6 is being divided by Y, so when that Y comes across to the other side, it will be multiplying. So you're going to have Y times tan of 33 is equal to 3.6. I'll go up here to finish this off. So now what we have is Y is being multiplied by tan of 33. So when that tan 33 goes across, you're going to have Y is equal to 3.6 divided by tan of 33, which means Y is equal to, and let's just do that on our calculator, 3.6 divided by tan of 33, and I'll give this to 2 decimal places. Give our answer to 2 decimal places, which is going to be 5.54, and the units will be meters, and that is the 2 dps. Okay, so fairly similar to the last video where you label your triangle, labeling the two sides, and you write down your SOHCAHTOA. You highlight whatever one you're going to use, whichever of your three trig ratios, sine, cos, or tangent, you're going to use, and then you rewrite your equation and fill in what you know. And then the only tricky part really is when you have your unknown thing on the bottom line, you then have to multiply across. So you'll have, for example, y times tan of 33 is equal to 3.6, and then divide across by the tan of 33 again.